welcome to our recruitment webinar. I'm Paula Call, and I am the Crossroads of the West Council's Vice President of Membership, and we're so excited to have all of you join us. My advisors, Jake Bangeter and John Mills, who are field directors and district executives, they are monitoring tonight. We appreciate them getting everything set up. So we have a lot to cover with a lot of great ideas and information to help you with your recruitment efforts. And so I'm not going to spend too much time with introductions, but I do want to say, if this is your first webinar with us, we do have a council recruitment webpage where you can get on to view the past 4 webinars we've held. And believe it or not, it's been a full year. This is our 4th one. So you can get some great ideas, recruitment plans and strategies and resources to help you with your recruitment efforts. And so I know that there's PowerPoints and links that you can also click on to get a lot of great stuff. So you can find that at utahscouts.org/recruitment. And so tonight, our main focus is pretty much fall recruitment. And yes, we like to start early because school starts here in just a couple of weeks. And so we need you guys to start thinking about what do you want to do for your fall recruitment. And we're here to help you. So some of the panelists that are on tonight are actually part of my council membership committee. And we also have a devoted pack leader that's going to share some great ideas and personal experiences. And I'll introduce her a little bit later. And just to remind you, you can ask questions through the chat button on the bottom, and we'll do our best to answer them all. So first up, yes.
If everyone will take a minute and open the chat at the bottom of the screen, your agenda is there for them to see.
Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have asked one of the busiest ladies in the council to be first on this webinar, and she is Georgia Smith. She is the district executive over Learning for Life and Exploring, and has a great committee working with her to put exploring on the radar in the council, and they are doing everything they can to build our youth with exploring opportunities. So I really appreciate her input, being a member of my committee as well. So I'll turn the time over to Georgia.
Okay, thanks, Paula. Let me just get this pulled up. And let's see, slideshow. Okay, what am I doing?
Look from beginning again.
Oh, yes, I am so sorry. It's been a very long day. Please forgive me.
He's the best person I know.
So, okay, this is just a picture of the Salt Lake Police Department. They're exploring group from about 5 years ago, and that at the Fallen Officer Memorial. But absolutely love exploring and love our contacts throughout the community. Exploring takes children and helps them, young men and young women, find out what they want to know about a career. It's a great opportunity for them to learn more about a career without spending a lot of money or getting into going, you know, I have one son who wanted to be an actuary, did it for 2 years, then decided, although he loved math, it took all the fun out of math. So then he changed his career. So this gives them a good opportunity. I love this quote by Franklin D. Roosevelt. I hadn't ever heard it before, but Chief Mike Brown had quoted it when the top picture right there, we have career posts can cover across, and we'll show you as we go through this, any career. And we can be a great asset to youth, highly impacted, and youth that are maybe really struggling. So you can see him giving a coin to a group of our juvenile first-time offenders that were put in a career program, and we took them around to see different careers. Exploring is awesome. They love to help. This picture right here shows them helping at a White Buffalo event, and that with the climbing wall and being part of that. And then this picture is they help with camp. So We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And I firmly believe in that with exploring. So this just shows you the fields. Under each of these different career fields, there's probably 12 to 15 specialties. If you go to exploring.org, you can really kind of dig down into it a little bit more. The neatest thing about exploring is it provides a real world career opportunity and a one-on-one mentorship for youth. And it gives them the opportunity to discover what could be in their future, and that, and they're led by people that are in the career fields themselves. We here in the Crossroads of the West Council are very heavy in law enforcement careers, but they have found that it really helps the youth be part of something. They hit the ground running. They do everything the police do. And then they get a real insight into what do I want to do. And a lot of them go into law enforcement, but a lot of them go into other career fields in law enforcement that are civilian. It creates a great hiring pool for communities and for different businesses that are really struggling. And the hands-on approach helps these kids learn necessary life skills that will help them. In a survey that happened it's been a couple of years ago, but out of that, 83% of the youth surveyed wanted more information on careers, and 94% wanted more adult association or mentoring. So you can see that we have a great opportunity to open a lot of doors for the youth in our community and for the youth that are already scouts. Exploring is for ages 14 to 20. We have exploring clubs that are for the younger kids from 10 to 14 and that. But you know, a venturing scout can be an explorer too without causing any issue. They can join one of those. One of the best things about exploring is it reaches youth that are not affiliated with other things like sports teams and different things. We find we kind of get different youth. And we kind of hit those that don't show up for career day because they don't know what to do. This kind of shows, this shows our posts that we have currently right now in the Crossroads of the West. How does this kind of align if you're wondering, well, I don't understand how you would set up an exploring post? Super simple, same thing as a traditional unit, they just kind of have a name change. So if you look at traditional units, you have an institutional head who's usually was a bishop, a pastor, Rotary president. In exploring, institutional head would be the chief of the law enforcement, fire department, director of program, a principal. We do have a committee chairman, same thing as in a traditional unit. Where a traditional unit would have a scoutmaster, we have a post advisor, and then we have an associate post advisor. And because we are co-ed based, if your post advisor is male, then your associate advisor should be female. Salt Lake, for instance, has probably 6 male advisors, 1 lead male advisor, and 5 female advisors. And then they have our associate advisors. And we have 2 committee members as well. I get a list every single week that shows kids that go on to exploring.org and they input their information. And so you can see this is just one small insight into that. But you know what they want to do, and it shows the different fields they're interested in and the different opportunities we have for those of us that are in the community. Maybe you don't see where you fit in as a scoutmaster, but you know, maybe you like flying and you own your own plane and you'd really like kids to have a passion for that too. Well, we could start an aviation post, or maybe you're a lawyer and you really enjoy letting kids know what's going on, law and government. So there's a lot we can do out there. How can you share exploring? And that's just really easy. You can always contact me. I'm happy to come out and talk to anybody, but at roundtables or other district events, they do fabulous honor guards. So if you'd like to have an Explorer Honor Guard, that's a great idea. Invite an explorer to share their experience of why they joined exploring. I can tell you it's been life-changing. We've had several captains in different areas that were dropping out, that had families that were from high crime, high drug abuse, and they joined exploring and it changed their life. They'd gone on to college and bigger and better things. So whole different kind of way to meet the needs of the youth in our communities. Invite an Explorer advisor. You can, again, email me at georgia.smith@scouting.org. That's probably the easiest email. I'd be happy to introduce you to someone. And then, you know, talking about law enforcement explorers, community events, realizing that they're out there. You probably have seen them all the time at Taylorsville Days, Draper Days, LDS General Conference. They do all of the parades. They are also out doing traffic control. We actually had 3 explorers get Meritus Service Awards 3 years ago because they were the first ones on the scene of an accident at a marathon, and they were able to take care of everybody. So kind of cool. These are additional opportunities with exploring. They can join the EOA. We offer a high adventure camp for them. We offer life skill lessons. There are scholarships available to youth interested in different career fields on the exploring.org site if they belong to an Explorer post. They have combined post experiences. We get together and do police academies and all kinds of different things. And one of the things that they really have enjoyed the most is staffing Learning for Life camps. This past year, this is a picture of Travis Manion. We did a Travis Manion service project statewide, and the posts picked whether they wanted to collect food for the Humane Society or for their local food banks. And we got awesome recognition. We had several groups that did over 500 pounds of food, some that did 400 pounds of food. I was at the Salt Lake Humane Society when they dropped theirs off, and the people there were in tears that they had been given extra support and help. So anyway, I will stop there, but if you have any questions, let me know. This is just kind of a picture of one of our Salt Lake advisors giving a hands-on experience and that. So questions are at the end, I guess. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what I can do to help.
Yeah, so Georgia, I just didn't know all of the career fields that were available. So thanks for sharing that. And also that exploring clubs for the 10 and 14-year-olds is all new to me too. So thank you. The Up Through Youth programs are so important, and it's good for all of us to know what's going on in the council. So there's also on the council website, you can get on the exploring webpage by going to utahscouts.org/exploring. Just check that out today too.
Thank you for throwing that in. Sorry,
yes,
I missed that. Appreciate that.
You're all good. Thank you. So I've also asked our council's VOA advisor, Cheryl Winterton, to come on and tell us about what's going on with venturing and to give us some great tips for retention and recruitment. So I'll turn it over to Cheryl.
Make sure I'm unmuted. I want to echo a couple things that Georgia said. I have had a lot of my former venturers be in exploring posts and watch them go on to have careers in law enforcement. And I've got one that's actually a forensic scientist for a police department right now, because he did both, and he was awesome. Just to update you a little bit on venturing. Venturing is a co-ed program. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. If you have any questions on how to navigate that, let me know. I would be happy to talk to you about that. But I would strongly recommend that you use the fumes to your advantage, the car fumes and the perfumes. That way you'll get, youth like to be together, and if you can have the boys and the girls together, you're more likely to have a crew that'll stay together. Most venture crews will choose a specialty. There's gaming crews. I knew one a while ago that they would play Dungeons and Dragons every week, and then They would host all of the games for all of the big activities that the council had, and they would go to Comic-Con and help with some of those type things. And just to give you a little bit of the language that we tend to use a lot in scouting, and we assume everybody knows what we mean. A troop is Boy Scouts, and a crew is venturing. Anyway, most groups will choose their specialty, and they'll kind of stick around that for a while. You can have your specialty be anything from gaming to hunting to shooting sports to theater. My crew in Georgia, our specialty was advanced hanging out. That's all they wanted to do. Technically, we were a high adventure group, but the majority of what we did was things like go to the lake, kayak, and hang out, and go kayak again and hang out, and maybe swim a little bit. But it was what they wanted to do. It was their program and however they wanted to do it. Venturing, like scouting, does have a uniform, and I know one of the things we talked about recently was what a uniform is. We do have the green uniform, the green shirt you'll see all the time, but a venture crew's uniform is whatever they choose it to be. I really like it to have the venturing logo on it so that you know that they're with venturing, but it's completely up to the youth. They can have a t-shirt and jeans, whatever they want can be their uniform. Let's see, Jake, if you could put up the programs webpage for me. My computer's not working for that. In venturing, we also have the 4 levels of advancement program. Venturing is very much, again, what the youth want it to be, and if they don't want to do rank advancements, they don't have to, but if they would like to, they're all available, and we have 4 different levels. They have Venturing, Discovery, Pathfinders, and the Summit Award is very, very similar to Eagle, and if you'll look at the little tiny thing in the corner there, you can see one of them that's actually got an eagle on it. That's to show that it is very much like an Eagle Scout Award. There's other awards that they can work on too. Quest Award is for fitness and sports. The Ranger Award is for the outdoor type activities. And the Trust Award is a religious award, which a lot of kids can do. Jake, if you want to throw up just any of the other pictures, just change it whenever you want. That would be awesome. Any rate, so there again, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you might have. But I would like to talk to you now about venturing and what venturing can do for your recruitment and retention. As a retention tool, we'll run into a lot of times where we see our older scouts that are just done. They've been there, they've done that, they've helped with everybody, and they're just done dealing with 11-year-old scouts. And we all know 11-year-olds can be annoying. They're awesome because they get to turn 12 if we allow them to. But they're awesome young people. That being said, I know the SPL of my grandson's troop, bless his heart, has a lot of patience. His patience may run out at some point in time, and he may want to go hang out with just the older kids. And that's where venturing can come in and give them a place to go to hang out with only their age group, which is 14 to 21, by the way. I hate the term Eagle Out, but a lot of people use that. Now, as far as venturing goes, if they've got first class and they're just done with the troop, they can go on and get their Eagle with venturing. Just has a side effect. Any rate, so the thing with venturing is that not only is it with the older scouts, but they can shoot higher caliber guns. They can go on various other high adventures. They can climb higher. They can do all kinds of things that the younger scouts can't do. There's also a lot of other leadership and the awards also. And yeah, that's my favorite picture from before. This is obviously the green uniform. My former venturers, and like I said, about I think 3 of those young men in there are actually in law enforcement right now. As a recruitment tool, I'm starting to see more and more the advantages of having the family groups. When you have a group that everything is with the same organization, it tends to make family life easier when you have when you have a family of various ages. Not too long ago, last October, I went with one group that it was the pack and the troop and the crew all together. We went to a corn maze, and everybody arrived together, came with their families. They ate together. They did the corn maze. The parents took the little ones home. The scouts and the ventures hung out for a while, and then the parents took um, took the troop home, and then it was just the ventures to do the scary things that I don't like to do. So they hung around and did all that, and they had a great time with that. So, it was great that it was all meeting the same place. One of the other groups I've talked to recently did the shoe boxes for Christmas. And the little cubbies went around and collected things to go in the boxes and put things in it. And then they passed it on to the troop, who went through the boxes and made sure that there wasn't anything in the boxes that weren't supposed to be there, and, kind of leveled them out a bit. Then handed them off to the ventures, who then took it to the organization that was running it. And they spent the evening playing music and eating pizza and having a great time putting these shoe boxes and finishing it together. So it was one service project for the whole organization, and it was awesome. There are also standalone groups, which is okay if they don't have a troop that will work with them. They can do all of these things without the younger scouts. It just makes it a little bit more difficult, but they can do it. Finally, how to reach out to the ventures and recruit them. And I'm going to say this with all the other organizations also. The best recruiting tool is your youth, the youth that are in your group. If you will make sure that they're having a good time and have a friends night, and there again, make sure that they're having a good time with their friends night, they'll be more likely to invite more people, and hopefully your program will grow. Have an activity at the park that'll get them an audience. And if you're going to do that, make sure that you have your calendar available and contact information you can just hand out to anybody that might be watching. Rockets are a great idea. Anything else you can think of where people will walk by and say, hey, what are they doing? And make sure that you have on a uniform that they recognize. And then lastly, if you want those youth to stay in your program, the very best thing that you can do is have a super activity. You want to do something that the youth look forward to for a long time, that they do the training for, and that they just have a great time getting ready to go. I brought my group from Georgia out to Salt Lake. We got in a plane, or they flew in a plane out here. When they got off the plane, I borrowed my dad's truck, cowboy hat, cowboy boots, big old belt buckle, just to prove the point. And I took them up to Yellowstone. And everywhere that they went, it was the greatest thing they'd ever seen. They had an absolute fabulous time. And they still talk about that every once in a while on one of our group chats. Somebody will say, hey, remember this animal that we saw that we tried to feed, or the moose that got in our way? It's fabulous to do that kind of thing. Some of the other things we've done is we went to Venturing Fest at the Summit in West Virginia, and they love that. And one of our other activities that they still talk about to this day is we took them on an island off the Georgia coast that I swear was inhabited by raccoons. They still talk about it to this day. They had a great time, and they really enjoyed that. So to end it all, please make sure that they're having fun. They do things outside. They have food. They have fun. They go outdoors. They have friends. And don't forget the food. And there again, if you have any questions, please call me, email me, text me. I'm happy to work with anybody that would like any help. Thank you, Paula.
Hey, thanks, Cheryl. So, I was thinking it really is about the adventure with these kids, and that's what it's all about for them. And I'm sure everyone will always remember the car fumes and perfume. That will always be what I will think when it comes to venturing. So I posted your email address under the chats if anyone wants to grab that and get a hold of her at any time. I just have to bring on these wonderful leaders who've done so much for our older youth programs, and it's always good to make aware of who they are so you can reach out to them for support when needed. I believe that when it actually comes to recruitment, I think we really need to be creative, and I think we've been stretched so far this last year, and I know that a lot of you have done some wonderful things, and I also think that we need to really think of ways that we can scream, we have fun, and we want to join, we want you to join us on the adventure. And so we need to be prepared. And when it comes to joining events, that's what the youth are looking for. So, course, to have fun. Parents want to be able to trust their leaders and want to make sure that their leaders are making sure the kids are having fun. So how can we plan these joining nights, and what are some great ideas that we'll be inviting friends of Cub Scouts who would want to participate as well? And we have with us tonight a volunteer who happens to own a catering business in Orem, and she's been a Webelos leader, den leader, and involved with scouting since 2012, and is now serving as a COR for her pack. And she has success with recruitment, and she'll have to tell you the pack number. I can't remember her pack number, but I'd like to bring her on to share with us her success stories and maybe some failures too. Her name is Valeria Miho, and she's originally from Ukraine, which is pretty awesome. So we welcome Valeria.
Thank you, Paula, for that wonderful introduction. I'm here tonight to share with you a couple of tips that our own pack has found helpful in recruitment. The first important thing to always remember that when we are recruiting, we are basically selling fun to the kids, and we are marketing positive experiences to the parents. So we got to remember about both parties and include both of them when we approach them about our scouting units. If you are in a troop or crew right now, and I'm here talking about packs, don't dismiss us. Make sure you pay attention. If you have packs affiliated with your troop, you can pass down this information to them. It is an important part. Packs are important because we like to think that we are important, and we are important because we feed the next kids, the next generation to the troops. And most of the troop members will come from the pack that's affiliated either with your troop or from a pack within your area. So for recruitment, you can go two different ways. You can either do in-school recruitments or out-of-school recruitments. Lately, it's becoming a little bit more difficult as far as in-school recruitments go. If you have an in with PTA or a principal or a teacher that can get you in, those are great resources to use and use it to the fullest. For our pack, we mostly have done out-of-school recruitment activities, and I will just share our experience with you. We were established in 2019. That's the name of the number on the pack, right? We're pack 2019. And our very first activity was we did rockets in a park. For that activity, we promoted ourselves in a local elementary school. We did flyers that we send out with, you know how they do the send out flyers to the parents with kids. So we did that. And I cannot tell you that it was a huge success, but we had a lot of fun. All our kids were there, and we were in a park, and we had probably about 10 to 12 new kids that came in and checked us out and did rockets with us. We always try to make sure we are out in public. All of our den meetings from April to October are at a park. So we always make sure that we're visible to people, and everyone comes to hang out at the park, have some fun. They see us, we poke their interest, they come over, start the conversation and talk to us. So we get kids that way as well. Our second activity, recruitment activity that we did was the same year, after several months after the rockets. We did just a fun s'mores night at our regular park location, and each den made a presentation of what they do, what lions are doing, what tigers are doing. I had a display for Wibelows, and they had a little put together first aid kit activity for them. And after they got to know all the dance and what they do, what fun stuff we get to do as Cub Scouts, we did some s'mores. We brought a fire pit and roasted some s'mores as a treat. So the main part of your recruitment activity is to make it fun and make sure everyone is engaged. Your parents are involved as far as talking to the leaders, and your kids are involved as far as having fun, making new things. Your recruitment night can be a carnival. It can be a bike rodeo. It can be a derby. It can be so many different things, but it also can be as simple as just have a couple DIY stations for the kids to make little bows and arrows with, I don't know, with the, my English just left me, I'm sorry. With some rubber bands and Q-tips, or make some kid-friendly activities. And make sure also that you cover all the ages, because remember, not your lion aged kids are not going to be able to do what Wibelows aged kids do. So make sure you hit that also. You have activity for every level and every kid. Last year, obviously, our activities did not happen. We planned them, but circumstances, we had to adjust, and they didn't happen. But that's okay, because guess what? We made sure we updated our bescout.scouting.org pin. It is very crucial at this time. We got a lot of hits during pandemic because of our updated pin. Make sure that your online registration is open on that. So that was our biggest marketing point during pandemic. And now this year we have started, we came back strong, and we started summer with our Rockets activity again, because it's so much fun. Kids love it. And again, we did it in a crowded park so everyone can see us and everyone can see that we are having fun. Another thing that has worked very well is bring a friend. You encourage your kids to bring a friend to an activity. We can get memberships that way as well. Last year, we go by school years. So we start in September, end in May. And when May came around, we have graduated quite a few kids, and I was thinking to myself, oh no, our numbers are down. What are we gonna do? But guess what? Word of mouth, activities, being visible at the park, it all works, because now all of a sudden we got a spurge of lions and tigers to fill in, and it's perfect because everyone is advancing, so our lines were staying empty, but now we got a ton of kids. So make sure you are always visible. Make sure people know about you. We went to the we go to the schools, elementary school in your area for the pickup day, when the parents come to pick up their assignments. And I have no idea what's it called. I'm sorry, I didn't grow up here. But we stay there and make sure we're visible and parents know that we exist, and there is such an opportunity as scouting for their kids. We have had interest from those as well. Let's see. Let me just make sure I touched all of my points. Yeah, and as I said, your recruitment activity can be as big as you want it, or as simple, but it has to be fun. Another big thing that we have noticed is that make sure when you are doing recruitment activity, most of the people are wearing your activity shirts, activity uniforms, because sometimes people get intimidated by uniforms, Make sure you're not using too much vocabulary, abbreviations, and things like that. And everything is simple and people can understand what you're actually talking about. Another big thing that you should participate in is popcorn sales that are coming up. We have a kickoff next week. When we go to those storefronts, people see us, and that's another thing. Oh, you guys are still around. We heard it all the time. Every single day we did storefront sales in 2019. No, I think we did it last year too, 2020 as well. So we heard it every single time. Cub Scouting is still around. Yes, we're still around. So that's a big one. Make sure your community knows that you are there. ORMPD is doing a bike safety thing. They did it today, actually. And they did it right a week after we did ours. And we didn't know that they were going to do that. So that's another thing. You can reach out to your local law enforcement and see, maybe they're doing something like that for kids, or to get to know the neighborhood or the area. And your unit can participate in that to be visible. So there are a lot of opportunities. Make sure you take advantage of them, and make sure you are selling fun to kids and marketing positive experience to parents always. That's about all I have to share tonight.
Oh, you're so wonderful. Isn't she the best? So I love how you shared best practices too. Thank you, Valeria. And hopefully you can all get excited now and start making plans for what you want to do for your fall recruitment.
Before I add something real quick, right now is the perfect time to plan your full recruitment, because it should happen about 2 weeks, give or take, after the start of school. And it is recommended to have a follow-up recruitment night in about October, because then all the plans are settled in, people know what they're doing, what their extracurricular activities are, and that's when they can add in scouting.
Okay, thank you. And I was just thinking, if there's just one gem that you learned tonight that may help, then I think we've accomplished our purpose with this webinar. So thank you, Valeria. You shared a lot of gems. So by the way, this webinar is being recorded and will be put up on our council webpage in probably a week, maybe less. And also any of the PowerPoints or links shared will also be put on the webpage, and that's at utahscouts.org/recruitment. So our next panelist, Daryl, oh, by the way, she mentioned about uniforms. And most of us are in our class Bs. Daryl, what's going on with your?
Look, I have my little welcome badge. Isn't that fine?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. So here we go.
Yeah, I knew there was something up with you not following my instructions.
Okay. So this says Scout Parent Unit Coordinator, so people know to look for the red shirt guy to help them and join your pack.
So obviously our next panelist is Daryl Alder, and we had him on last time, shared a lot of just some social media, great information, how you can recruit, just a lot of good stuff that he shared. And we actually attended a national webinar for membership last night and got a lot of great information, new things that we're learning. So especially things that they want us to start focusing on this year. So he's going to share some of the things that we've learned, and then he'll be assisted by two of our district membership chairs, which is Charlie Twist from the Spanish Trails District and Darwin Sorensen from the Old Ephraim District. So while Daryl is presenting, please type questions. He's really hands-on. He is going to have you interactive, and so be prepared to follow links that he will share.
So
and we'll turn it over to Daryl. You're up.
In the chat, I've put up a couple links already, but I first want to start out. Research among potential families, especially people of color. This is what they see. So this picture that you're seeing is the Border Patrol Museum. But if they've had a bad experience, this is how they feel about your Scout uniform. So the very first link I'm giving you is a link to order either the yellow or red shirt So you can tell people who are dropping in, yeah, just go over and talk to that guy with the red shirt. He'll take care of you, okay? All right, now I'm going to invite you to be in the chat with me and get ready to do something here. Last night, they told us that research in 24 markets show that most moms feel pretty good about the Cub Scout brand. But like Valeria said, we have to be visible. They just don't know where you are or how to join. And worse, they don't know girls can join. So right now, Valeria told us to update our pins. I want you to click on the Be a Scout.scouting.org link and open that on your, boy, that link didn't work for me. So you may have to cut and paste it in. Sorry, folks. Anyway, that's what should come up. This is really important. We want you to type in your own zip code. So Paula, tell me your zip code. You're down in Hurricane. Paula, what's your zip code? I'm not hearing you. You're muted.
That's because I'm in the link of beascout.scouting.org. So it's 84737.
84737. Okay, so if Paula, if you were looking for something for one of your grandkids, we click on this. Oh my goodness. The Rotary Club of Hurricane is the only one. Well, I guess we better go out to 20 miles and see.
Like down on that.
Okay, so now there's a few more. There's 3 choices we can pick from. So we want you to do this really quick and put your zip code in so you can see if your pin is active. And then we're going to talk about what to do about that. Jake or John, were you able to find out about pending for us?
No.
Okay, so on my screen, I'm showing you that LTAC Global has a pack coming soon. I don't know how you make that. And the reason why is that you have to be a member of a unit key 3 to pin. So you have to be the committee chairman, the charter organization representative, or the unit scout leader, Cub Master, Scout Master, crew advisor, okay? So any one of those 3 who are registered can put a pin in it. Anybody have questions about where to look to see your pin? Now I'm going to invite you down to the next link. It says how to set up your Be a Scout pin. Now, these aren't the instructions from our council, but I had John check today and he said these will work fine. So this tells you step by step, if you're one of the unit key 3, how to go about setting up your pin. And it's actually kind of a fun thing to do. Paula, when we did this before, if we clicked on the map, so this is the map of 20 miles around Provo. Look, what do you mean there's no scouting units? Look at all those units. Isn't that fun? So that's important for people who are doing some research. But now, honestly, folks, I got to ask you a question.
Yes, I will.
Just how many moms or dads are going to go to the trouble to find Be a Scout, type it in and search, and then actually act on it? And how many Cub Masters, Scout Masters, and venturing crew advisors will follow up? In my unit, we had 3 people waiting over 6 months to join the unit because the unit key 3 didn't know how to use the Be a pin. So you better get informed. So because of this, I want to talk for a minute. I want Charlie to talk about live interaction, not internet, not
Social media.
yeah, not social media or the internet searches. Okay, so I'm going to unshare my screen and we're going to be able to watch Charlie here.
Thank you. I'd like to share the experience from the 3rd of July in the Hurricane, Laverkin, Tokerville area. We had parades in each of the communities. Our scout troop chose to participate in both Hurricane and Laverkin. So we went from one and scurried to the other one. We were in line with the parade right behind the group from the American Legion. So we were number 2 in line there. We wanted to follow up with the idea of being able to let the community know that we were still in business. We found that to be helpful. So we have a new trailer and we put that in behind the American Legion group and then went through so we could show the individual people at the parade. Scouts and Cubs were still in place. So we had our Cubs out front with a banner, and then the Cubs and the Cub leaders, and then the Scouts and their Scout leaders. And then we went from there to our trailer. So we had several people comment again, you really have Scouts in our area. Yes, we do. We're alive and functioning. So the color of our trailer turned out to be quite an eye stopper. This is what it looks like. And
Hey, Charlie, we're not seeing the pictures. We just see
oh, I'm
the
sorry.
type.
Let's see here. Let me go
I don't know
back.
if you have to double click on that.
What are you seeing?
We're just seeing your menu.
Menu. Okay.
You've got to unshare your screen and then reshare with the picture.
Okay. Stop sharing and then reshare. Thank you. A little slow on the wheel here.
Harley, we got him just coming back from scouting events, so he's,
Okay.
One of
Does the
those
trailer
busy
show
men
up
too.
now?
yep, you got it.
All right. That's what we towed in the parade. A lot of people stopped and asked us questions, and we enjoyed that. When we finished with the parade, we came back to the grounds at the rec center. It's one of our pictures of our group walking in another parade. This was the 24th of July. But on the 3rd of July, we had little paper rockets for the kids to make, and the parents. And then from there, we had a little battery running a little air compressor. And then the little yellow button, the kids had control of that. They pushed the button and the rocket shot up off the tube, 100 feet or so into the air. Very popular item. We also had a booth where we let them make wrist banners with paracording. And then our big thing was our monkey bridge. We set up a monkey bridge and the kids flocked to that from the time we opened it up until well after time for it to close. In this setting, we had scouts and adult leaders helping the kids get across that monkey bridge. Nobody fell. Some thought they were, but it was a good stopping point. The other thing, this one here, here's a girl walking across. Notice the line of people back behind waiting there, parents and kids. This was a golden opportunity. Actually, each of the 3 stations were to visit with the parents. We've got an audience there with us, and we've got them in our hands. We can talk about Cub Scouting to them. Have you done this before? Would you like to return back to it? Would you like to start off fresh? And this was very successful for us. So we took advantage of this parade that assembled at this rec center and this lawn outside there, and had these different stations interviewing the parents and the kids and making notes of what they would like to do and so forth. So We have signed up 3 just this last week to be able to get going with cubbing and scouting again. So just a matter of having an audience and the idea of being part of a community parade and where they stopped afterwards to meet. We had captive audience and great results visiting with them. Daryl, that's it. Daryl, you're muted.
Charlie, thanks. So Melissa has just asked a question. Can we get the red or yellow welcome shirt to be sold at our local scout office? So we have 2 scout offices in the council, one in Ogden and one in Orem. I checked the Orem one today. They don't have them in stock. She sewed this patch on for me while I waited at no cost. Okay? But I do want you to know I just ordered mine. They come both as a golf shirt or as a t-shirt. And unfortunately, I've lost too much weight to wear the only shirt size they had, which was 2X. It's very, very comfortable. These will become pajamas after tonight. But look, something as simple as just putting any red shirt on. And I had a red golf shirt I was going to show you with this little note that says, "Hello, I'm Daryl. How may I help you?" That's all you have to do to make this more welcoming. But bug your scout shop if there's a market, because today I was the second person in that asked. Paula, were you first?
Yeah.
All right. So I have now put up something in the chat I'm wanting you to look at, because I want you to go to the new resources for Cub Scout recruiting. I'm going to share my screen. If you'll click on that, I think it will be really important to follow along so that you can get exposure to this wonderful new resource. So at this page, there are roll down screens, one after another. So the new marketing materials, which is Escape the Indoors. In other words, we've had masks on long enough. Here we go. If you click on recruitment, the materials are right there. There's also a uniform promo. After a family's in and kids are in a while, the uniform is a big deal. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this unit tool. There's a calendar right there to help you plan your social media. You can't ask for better service than that, okay? Don't worry about the council tool. And if you didn't get enough recruiting ideas, down here where it says stay tuned, all you have to do is click on that and register for tomorrow night's webinar. That's at 5:30 our time, okay?
And that's from National. That's not a webinar from us. That's National. So
And
they're
if you
pretty good.
across the page, they're going to knock the wind out of you.
Yeah.
Now, look, I want you to come down here to the bottom. There's a Beyond School Access this Thursday. There's Welcoming to Cub Scouting, how to do that on the 12th of August and on the 26th. Those are all good ones you need to get. Don't wait for us to put another webinar up. But look down here where it says past webinars. Oh my gosh, they have such good webinars. Social Media 101 Beyond, I took it this week and I was like, this is what every unit needs to do. They need to have one social media coordinator. Good thing. You get their slides, you get everything. Now, the theme this year is August 2nd. We're kicking off Ready, Set, Scout. That's our new theme. And all the National Scout shops are going to put all of their Scout bottoms 25% off if you're into bottoms, okay? So special resources you need: beascout.org support, joining event plan, how to plan your big event, how to set up your geofencing, and how to do social media in your unit. Now, enough of that, because I got to ask, are you going to believe all the social media that I put up because I'm a trained professional, or are you going to believe Darwin? Darwin, it's your turn to take over and tell us how you recruit.
Well, I mean, the most important thing I think is to say, hallelujah, this has been a great overview of how to recruit. Good ideas. I suppose the things I would add, if anything, is, well, maybe it's an umbrella idea here. It's basically, if you want to recruit scouts, you have to go where the scouts are, or where their parents are, where the scouts and their parents are coming to events and doing things. We've seen that already. Charlie showed us some great stuff that they've done. Our experience has been going to like in Richmond, Utah, they have black and white days, Holstein cow, black and white days sort of stuff. And lots of people, you know, from the whole county, not just Richmond, show up to this event. And the local, the troop that is in Richmond put together a Pinewood Derby, a super one, right? They brought in a track with 10 lanes and stainless steel and all that kind of stuff, and had events and that sort of stuff. So lots of people gathered around it. And I got invited to go there and hand out flyers and talk to people. One of the things I think I learned from that event was that there are a lot of I'm going to say, well, it's guys basically, who come up and say, I was a scout. I would, you know, I probably ought to get my kid involved in scout. And you say, yes, indeed, here's how you do that sort of stuff. And then they wander off. But one of the things I learned, I guess, is you better take telephone numbers and anything they'll give you to try to contact them. But those kinds of things where young families are coming to participate in events can be very successful. I had a similar event at Franklin, not very far north of Richmond, Franklin, Idaho, at Idaho Days. Franklin's the oldest town in Idaho. Lots of young families came there, talked to wonderful people there, and had some people sign up to get in touch with the local packs that are in either Richmond or in Weston, Idaho, not in Franklin. But had a retired scouter come up and say, I'd like to form a Cub Scout pack in Franklin. So this idea of being visible, as we've already learned about today, is extremely important. And one of the things I will do in the future is to have a variety of flyers, things that I can use for whatever keywords people mention when I talk to them, to give it to them. If somebody says, you know, oh, I was a den leader once, I'd love to get involved in that again. I have a flyer to help people get involved in those kinds of things. If somebody says, I'd like to get my son involved or my daughter involved, a flyer that helps them get that done. So being there where they are is the key. It is not easy. I think every one of us have found out it's not easy to and just kind of hope that somebody's going to show up. They're probably not going to do that.
Hey, Darwin, thanks. Did you have some more? I'm sorry, I probably cut you off. Go ahead.
No, please. That's great. Good place for you
All
to
right.
say.
Folks, I want to point out, moms are the ones who make the decision about what their kids are going to do after school. Moms who are 35 to 45 get their information on Instagram. Your PAC has to have an Instagram page. You can do this by going to Facebook, creating a Facebook organization for your PAC, and then going to Facebook Suite and post out both ways. So I'm going to show you that. I'm not going to show you how to do that because you can learn that in the 101. I want to share my screen again. So remember, I showed you the calendar. Well, you don't know what to put on your calendar. Once a week, you better be active on Facebook starting this very week until the end of September. And you know, maybe you don't know what to do, but with that calendar is 8 weeks worth of ideas. Oh, it's 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Look at that, all the way up here to, they're going to take care of you with a Facebook Live event. And if none of you have thought of that, that's a great way to recruit because they don't have to come to your PAC event. Not the best, because live interaction will always be the best. But I'm going to ask you the question again. Darwin said you need some resources. So if you'll look at what I just put up, if you go to the BSA Brand Center with me, you've got folders with flyers, peer-to-peer cards, email templates, photos, posters, all kinds of social media tools, videos, and web browsers. Now, last night, we saw this video. I have got to share this with you. Can you see my screen? Is it black?
Yes.
Now, if I make it full size, can you still see my screen?
Yes, it's black still, full screen.
I bet you'll believe these kids before you believe us.
My name is Jada. My name is Carlos. My name is Kathleen. My name is Dex. And I'm a Cub Scout. And I'm a Cub Scout. And I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a Cub Scout like me. Who here knows what Cub Scouts do? Well, Since this is a video, I'm just going to tell you what they do, and let's see if you're right. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities. We make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, fishing, and swimming together. We have fun, we play sports, and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Scouts become future leaders. In fact, some Scouts have even made history. Did you know that some of our former presidents, astronauts, award-winning scientists, and actors were Scouts when they were your age? Here's an example of something Cub Scouts get to do each year. Wait for it. We use our skills to make rockets, and then we fly them. So, who wants to become a Cub Scout? Okay, this is still a video, so I'm gonna need you to let me know a different way. Visit beascout.org to find a pack near you. Get any questions answered and sign up for Cub Scouts online. Make sure you have an adult to help you with that part, though.
That's a resource. That's a resource in these folders for every one of you. There's an all girls one. There's an all boys one. There are Scouts BSA ones. There's venturing ones with ventures talking about it. Folks, VSA Brand Center is your friend. All right, as we get ready to close this up, I'm going to ask you a question. This is a really important question. I mean, I think we've probably driven the point home till ad nauseum, but still, I'm going to put up another piece in the chat. Whoops, maybe. This doesn't always let me cut and paste everything. I have to do it in small segments. So let me just ask you this question. Do you want to plan a big event, or do you want to just start inviting kids to your regular events? That's called dynamic recruiting. Friend to friends, bringing friends. Valeria, you talked about the Rockets. Did any of your kids bring any friends?
Yes, we actually did have some neighbors and school buddies come tag along with our kids.
And did any of them join?
Not yet, because it was recently.
All right, well, so, I mean, you just have to stay in there and you still have to be visible.
Yes.
All right, here's 5 tips that we learned last night for planning a big event. Promote, promote, promote. So I told you, Facebook and Instagram, those are going to be the best ways. Bulletin boards in the school, PTA newsletter, okay? This is the message to parents. You need some dedicated time with your child to watch them grow, doing what they do. This isn't a drop off and go activity. This is a drop by and stay. Remember to tone down the scouting uniforms. It puts people off in their initial interactions. The boys can be in them and some of the adults, leaders can be in them, but people that are off in the lines like Charlie was talking about, chatting with them, that have clipboards, that are taking phone numbers and emails. No. You've got to have, and there's your new membership coordinator t-shirt link so you can order it. But remember, you have got to get a commitment while you're there. Ask them to fill out an application and you take it with you. Do not send it home with them. That's so old school. And get your treasurer in your unit to open a PayPal or a Venmo account so people can pay their dues right then and join. Get the deal closed. And then be sure that they meet their den leader, and the den leader gets an email to send the parents the follow-up calendar. And then this is a +6 bonus that I'm going to close with, and we probably are over. Sorry. You need to have somebody in your pack assigned to do onboarding that's a red or yellow shirt person. They need to make sure they text the family when they leave to thank them for coming and to ask them if they have any additional questions. The person in the red shirt has to make eye contact and an ongoing connection and make them feel welcome. They need to be one of your most gregarious parents. They don't have to have any other job. All right, panelists and participants, let's do Q&A.
Hey, thanks, Daryl. So, you know, when you walked everyone through that recruitment landing page, it's just right at everyone's fingertips, and it's just a one-stop shop for everyone. They can get all the information, get everything.
Answer your questions, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Wonderful.